Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Franchise Hour, three of season, episode 2 of season 3, this Thursday. Since it's the month of intellectual property, our topic today is trademarks, how to get them, and why they are so much of importance. And we invited our trademark specialist, Mr. Sokrie Malaco, to talk about it. However, he has a problem in logging in. So while he is still trying to log himself in, I will start in the meantime the presentation in his behalf and explain what a trademark is all about. So, first of all, what is an electoral oops, what is an electoral property? That can be either a trademark, a patent, a utility model, a design, a copyright, or a trade secret. For us, the most important is, particularly in franchising, is really the trademark. So, what can be a patent? A patent can be, for example, the phone camera hardware or any specific design. The copyright, which is usually written works like manuals, like software, like images, or ringtones or music. Layout designs can be, for example, a microchip. Industrial designs like graphic user interface or designs of phones. And trademarks, of course, the name of the business and the logos, etc., etc. So, one second. So let's talk about the marks, which for us is the most important one. Because the mark is any visible sign capable of distinguishing the goods or the services. A service mark of an enterprise and shall include a stamp or mark container of those goods. In other words, a signage in plain English. All right, and this is all about Republic Act 166A, which was the original of the trademark business. Under collective marks, wherein we can capable of distinguishing the origin, common characteristics, quality of goods or services of different enterprises under the control of the registered owner. And then we have the governing law, as I said earlier. It all starts with now the Republic Act 8293, which is the IP Code of the Philippines, which was approved June 6, 1997, and took effective on January 1, 1998. And the IP Code introduces major changes to the original Philippine trademark system, and registration is the basis of ownership. And of course, very important also, it was a shift to the first to file system, meaning to say, whoever files first for a brand or a logo is also the one who will get it approved. All right. Now, to compare it, the trademark with the SEC registration or TTI registration. The SEC or TTI registration only allows you to do the business by yourself. All right. And you need a TTI or a SEC registration to engage in business or entering into a contract, but does not protect your trademark, does not prevent also other people from using your logo, for example, because you have not registered it. And if you find out somebody is copying you, you can't do anything against it if you did not file for a trademark intellectual property office. And you cannot use any rights under the intellectual property code. All right. So here are some examples of marks. So we have the, for example, of pen shop, which is a trademark. But the trade name actually of pen shop is Golden ABC. All right. So the corporate name is Golden ABC, but the shops are called pen shops. Example of a service mark is MasterCard. And then collective mark, because it has a design and it has wordings, we call it a collective mark, like you can see from Aklan Quality Seal. All right. So this is what we call a collective mark. So, and then the importance of a trademark, of course, it grants exclusivity, it generates goodwill, it's the G to the owner, the registrant. So first of all, grants exclusivity, generates goodwill, and also gains recognition and reputation. That's why we call it the three G's of owning a trademark. And of course, a trademark can be used as a marketing tool, and you can license out, like in a franchise system. Every franchisor has to have a trademark, otherwise it cannot franchise. Since what you award in a franchise is the trademark to the franchisees. Okay, so you award it to the franchisees, and here also very important, you have to be able to take it away from them, and you can only take away a name or a logo from somebody if you have registered it under your name, under your company's name, as property of yours in the intellectual property office. So only then you can actually claim the franchise as yours, the trademark as yours, and protect yourself from the misuse of prospective abusers. In a lot of countries, unfortunately not yet in the Philippines, you can also use the trademark as a collateral because the trademark has value. The stronger brand is, the higher the value of the trademark. Therefore, in other countries, the trademark can be a bank collateral for loans. And of course, it can be assigned for value. It can be sold. If you give you the example of Mr. Inyapsia when he sold Manginasal to Jollibee, he did not get the money actually for the stores because the stores were all franchised. From at that time when Jollibee bought Manginasal, they had 300 stores, but only 10 were owned by Mr. Sia. The rest were all franchised. But still, he owned the trademark for all 300 stores. And that is where the value was. And then when you calculate, he got initially 3 billion for 300 stores. That means he got 10 million per store, which he did not own, but he owned the trademark. So he got 10 million per store for owning the trademark. So it's an excellent move by him to sell it and to collect for the value of the trademark. All right, like I said, it's an income generating venue for the sale or rental or the transfer of the marks. Okay, and of course, it's also an additional asset and proprietary entity. Of course, it's also an exclusive use for trade advertisement. So nobody else can advertise it, only those involved with the company or who are franchisees. And here we are already at the fourth part of the benefits of trademarking your business is you can license it out, you can collect franchise fees, you can collect royalties, and also you can engage into joint venture engagements with the entities of, and of course another advantage is you have legal protection uh, if it's properly filed because nobody else is allowed to use it. Therefore, it's distinction of identity because you have it exclusive. Therefore, you can use it to commercialize it for your franchise endeavors, achieve more revenues, and in case anybody uses your logo or your sign, then you can also claim infringement from those people. So the type of examples of trademarks. So we have word marks, for example, the Jollibee. But then the B, head of the B is a symbol, it's also a trademark. Or you can also combine word mark with a symbol, like what Meralco is doing. All right. So they have the slogan with it, or the slogan of Mercury Drug, like a siguro gamot ay laging bago. So this can be also trademarked with the intellectual property office. And you can then use the letter R if it's registered. Only if it's registered, you can use the letter R. If you just apply for it, what you can use is the TM. TM means it's a trademark, but not yet registered, meaning to say you didn't get yet the certificate. You already applied with the intellectual property office, but you didn't get yet your registration. And the SM is a service mark in a circle, so that's an unregistered service mark. Once it's registered, the same can use the R for a registered entity with the intellectual property office. Then the essentials of a trademark. First of all, a trademark should have a distinctive character. Okay, so the trademark may be united wholly to one or more specific colors, and this color combination may become the distinctive character of the particular mark. Should have an invented word, all right? The best trademarks are invented words, all right? Because if it is a common word, you might not even be able to register it since they already in generic, all right? So if you have a very specific name, the better. If it does not include any common words, all right? And trademarks, if it is a word or name, then it should be also easy to pronounce and remember. Like, for example, Lux for soap or McDonald's. You see, everybody can remember that. Or Mercedes for cars, etc., etc. So a very distinctive name, but also very easy to remember, and should be also very easy to spell. So if somebody is writing down the name, you can easily associate it with it. And if you read the logo, if you see the logo, you can easily read it also. And it should also be written legibly so that you will have no problem, especially if you're driving. You only have probably 3 seconds to identify a logo. So that's very important that it should be spelled correctly and legibly written. And of course, it should be pleasing to the eye as well, so that it's easy to identify and people also like looking at the logo. All right. So what you need actually to get a trademark? First of all, the application form. So you write on the application form the name and the address and then the list of the goods or services. You need a reproduction of the mark and you have to pay the filing fees. Okay. So the duration is 10 years from the registration and renewable again for another 10 years. What is the declaration of actual use? Very important, and unfortunately, this is quite often mistaken or forgotten or out of the mind of people. But it's very important to file a declaration of actual use, which is a sworn statement duly signed by the trademark owner or the representative and then notarized. The declaration of actual use contains a statement to the effect that the trademark is actually being used in the Philippines. All right? That it's being used for the goods and services identified. That goods are being sold or the services are being rendered at a specific store or location in the Philippines and through a specific website. All right. This is very important because if you just file for the trademark and not for the declaration of actual use, your declaration, your trademark will actually be removed from the register if you fail to do a declaration of actual use. And you have to do this 2 times. You have to do it within the 10 years of validity of the trademark. You have to do it within the first 3 years, which we call the third DU. So within the first 3 years from filing date of the trademark, you have to file the declaration of actual use. And then you have to file it again between the 5th and the 6th anniversary of the declaration, which we call usually the 5th, which is required of the registration of the mark. So between the 5th and the 6th anniversary of the declaration of the mark, you have to file again a DU. If you miss that, then you will be removed from the register. So you might have a certificate that you have a trademark, but actually you were removed from the register because you failed to file for the declaration of actual use. All right. However, as per Rule 204 of the IPO Bill number 17010, or the rules and regulations on trademarks, service marks, trademarks, and marks or stamp containers of 27, they added another article, and this is a new requirement: is the filing of the declaration of actual use within 1 year from date of renewal of the trademark within after the 10 years. So once the 10 years is over and you apply for a new registration, you have to file again for a declaration of actual use. All right. So the deadlines to file the DUs. So in the first one is within 3 years from filing date of the trademark application. The second is between the 5th anniversary and the 6th anniversary of the registration of the trademark, and the third one is within 1 year from the renewal of a trademark registration. So that's called the renewal declaration of actual use. So this will then be happening every 10 years after the renewal. All right. And for example, an example on how you make money in licensing your goods is the UP, University of Philippines, licensed the rights to produce Lagundi cough syrup to Azarias Pharmaceuticals in April 2011. And the royalties, what the UP is getting for that from the licensing agreement, is, of course, used to fund other researches of the University of the Philippines. So here we have the top uh, the top brands and the top trademarks in the world. Number one is, of course, Apple. The brand worth is $241 billion. So theoretically, they could get, if they needed it, they don't need it, but if they would needed it, they could get with the trademark, probably from any bank in the US, something like 200 billion as a loan against the trademark. All right. Second biggest, strongest, or best known, or most valuable brand is Google. The third is Microsoft. Amazon is fourth. Facebook is fifth. And Coca-Cola is the sixth. So if you look at it from the top six, only one is one who is really into producing something, uh, because all others today are work is all online and virtual. So interesting also. Seventh is the Walt Disney Company. Eighth is Samsung. Ninth is Louis Vuitton. And the 10th most valuable trademark today worldwide is McDonald's. So, John Stewart, the former chairman of Quaker Oats, said, if this business were to be split up, I would be gladly to take the brand, trademarks, and goodwills, and you could have all the bricks and mortar, and I will fare better than you. To say a few words to that is correct, because if you own the trademarks, you can go anywhere in the world, or you can sell them for a huge amount of money. But if you have just a building, you only have the value of the actual building. So you can be more valuable by owning the brands, the trademarks, and the goodwills than the buildings what the same brand is utilizing. All right. So therefore, protect your intangible assets through innovation and registration. And if you need help for your trademark registration, please contact us, the Filipino International Franchise Association, and contact Sokrie Malaco, our trademark specialist, who is supposed to do the seminar what I did right now, but he was not able to log in. And you can get in touch with him at the landline 8911-1966, 0933-864-2553, 0917-860-9329, or info at franchiseassociation.biz, or you go to the website trademarkph.com. All right. So this is about our knowledge about trademarks. And now I want to, before I end this short talk about trademarking, I want to give you some more head ups. So, if you're interested to know more about franchising, actually, you can request for my book all about franchising by Rudolf Kotik. You can also, this is more than 100 pages, and you can learn a lot about franchising. It's in PDF format, and you can read it at your convenience. Just a request for it. You may also read our magazine, franchising.ph. Every month, new episode, a lot of stories, a lot about reports, and a lot of opportunities about franchising. And this month in April, we are featuring Mr. Peter Probst and Mabuhay Nursing Home. This is the first nursing home in the Philippines which is into franchising. for the Philippines and anywhere in the world actually. And Mabuhay Nursing Homes and 700 other companies have been developed by our company, Aki Franchise Consultancy. And what we do is we structure franchises, we prepare the operations manual, we prepare the legal files, we prepare the franchise disclosure in accordance to the TTI Bureau order. We prepare the franchise website, franchisor manuals, of course, master franchising worldwide, and all the other aspects of franchising. And of course, all our clients are member of FIFA, Filipino International Franchise Association, and we give long-term assistance to our clients. All right. And then, of course, you can become a member of FIFA, Filipino International Franchise Association. And if you're a member, you can use the logo. We can do the trademark for you. All our clients are on our web portal, franchise.ph, and you're listed there, and you maybe featured also in our magazine, Franchising PH, which is online and coming out every month. And we also give discounts on our trade shows, etc. All right. If you want to see more of the franchise hours or my seminars or anything about franchising, please visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel, RK Franchise, and you can learn a lot about franchising there. And next Thursday, season 3, episode 3, we have very interesting guests, Mr. Jonathan Petalver, who is an excellent management consultant, coach, author, lecturer. So this one will be very interesting. And together with him, I have Mr. John Aguilar, who is the president of Trademark, and he's the producer and host and overall in charge of the final pitch on CNN Philippines. So this will be next Thursday at 4 p.m. And I see you then again next Thursday as host of the Franchise Hour. And again, sorry, my trademark specialist, Mr. Sokrie Malaco, wasn't able to log in to the show. So that's why I was just reading off more or less his presentation. But I hope I was still able to give you enough information for you to get all the importance of trademark. And I see you again next Thursday to our franchise hour with Mr. Jonathan Petalvar and Mr. John Aguilar. Thank you so much for viewing today, and see you again next Thursday, April 29. Bye-bye.